Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Today we are going to see Unit 3 under Chapter 2, that is functions. So here after you study this lesson, you will be able to understand and apply the concept of module programming. Okay, so how we can make use of modules, and then how we can write the functions and identify and invoke appropriate predefined functions. So already some functions will be predefined. So that functions, how we can identify it and how we can invoke or call those functions, that also we will see here. And we can create Python functions and work in a script mode and understand the arguments and parameters of functions. So if you are using function, in that functions, if we use parameters and arguments, so what is parameter and what is argument, we will understand here. And we can work with different types of parameters and arguments, like keyword arguments, positional arguments, default arguments, like that some arguments are there. So how we can work with different types of these arguments, that also we will see. And develop small scripts involving simple calculations. So that also we will see here. So now we'll move on to introduction part. So earlier we talked about working in script mode in chapter 1. So how we can work in script mode. Okay. Uh, so in script mode, we can save the program as a file. Okay. That is to retain our work for a future usage. Okay. So we can type the program in a script mode. So for working in a script mode, we need to write the function in Python and save it in the file having .py extension. Okay, so you need to save the file after typing the file in the script mode, and you need to save the function, save the file having .py extension. Okay, so for Python, .py is the file extension name. A function means what? A function is the named sequence of statements. That means function will be having a name. So it consists of collection of statements also, sequence of statements also. A function is a named sequence of statements that performs a computation. That means calculations, that performs calculation. So function is a named sequence of statements that performs computation. It contains a line of code that are executed sequentially from top to bottom by Python interpreter. So function will contain a line of code. So it is having a line of code that are going to be executed sequentially from top to bottom by the Python interpreter. So that function programs we will see at the end of the chapter, then you will understand in a better way. So now we will study this definitions properly. So they are the most important building blocks for any software in the Python. So whatever software you are creating using Python, so these are the important building blocks. That means this is very much important in order to write a big program. So big program is going to be divided into smaller pieces known as functions or subprograms. Okay. So the other name given for function is method or subprogram. Okay. So functions can be categorized as belonging to. Okay. So we can categorize functions as modules and built-in functions and user-defined functions. So what are the three categories of functions? We can categorize functions as modules, built-in functions, and user-defined functions. Okay, so let us see first module. A module is a file. Okay, actually it is a file. It contains Python definitions. That means Python functions or and statements. Okay, so it consists of Python definition and statements. Module, actually it is a file. It consists of what? Python functions or definitions and statements. So standard library of Python is extended as a module to a programmer. So the standard library only, the library of Python only is going to be extended as a module, okay, as a module to a programmer. So whenever any programmer want to use the modules, want to use some functions or statements in his program, so he can first import the module or library. Okay, so standard library of Python only is extended as a module to a programmer. So definitions from the module, that is functions built in, some functions will be there, not built in. Some functions already will be there. That functions or definitions from these modules can be used within the code of a program. So when you are writing the program, so you no need to write the logic or any formula, you no need to type in the program. So just you can import the module, and then from that module you can make use of these definitions or functions. So that's why this module is very, very helpful for the programmer. And to use these modules, so how we can make use of these modules? To use these modules in the program, a programmer needs to import the module. That means he need to insert. Okay, first he need to insert the module. So from that module only, because module is like a file, the file will contain some kind of contents. So here the contents are nothing but functions are statements. So if you want to use, if the programmer want to use that function in his program, in his part of the program, he need to import the module first. That means if you insert the module first only, you can make use of that module to extract the functions from that module. So for that we need to import the module. Once you import the module, you can reference, that is you can use any of its functions or variables in our code. Okay, so in our programming we can make use of the functions or variables after importing a module. So there are many ways to import a module in our program. The one which we should know are, first one is import. So how we can import the module, insert the module in our program? First one using import, and second one using from. Okay, so these are the two ways. So let us see one by one how we can make use of this import and from. Okay, in order to insert the module in our program, it is the simplest and most common way. Import is simplest and most common way to use modules in our code. Okay, its syntax is import module name 1 comma module name 2. So like that we can write, this is the syntax. Okay, example, let us see. After this command prompt, we need to write import math. Okay, so import math means math module is going to be, that is maths related functions, everything we can make use from this, inserting this after importing this math module. On execution of this statement, Python will search for the file math.py. Okay, so after executing this import math, Python will automatically do searching for the file math.py, and it creates a space where modules definition and variable will be created. Okay, and then it executes the statements in the module. Now the definitions of the module will become the part of the code in which the module was imported. So where, in which part of the program we have used that module, imported that module, in that part we can make use of the functions which are available in that module. So to use or access or invoke a function, you will specify a module name and name of the function separated by dot. This format is also known as dot notation. What is dot notation? So if you want to use or access the function which are available in the module, first you need to specify the module name, and then uh, followed by function name, and then both are need to be separated by dot. Okay, that means module name dot function name. So let us see the next example how a dot notation can be written. For example, value is equal to, if you want to get the value of square root of 25. Okay, so for that already we have imported the math module. So after importing math only, we can use this statement, that is value is equal to math dot square root of 25. So this is only known as dot notation, that is math dot, that is module name. Math is what? Module name. So you will specify the module name and the name of the function. See, and the name of the function separated by dot, and the name of the function separated by dot. So here the example uses a square root function. Okay, this is known as function. Whenever any identifier is going to be followed by what? Parenthesis, that is known as function. Okay, so the example uses square root function of module math to calculate. So this square root is available only in the math module. So we need to import the math module first when we want to use the square root function. So the example uses square root function of the module math to calculate square root of the value provided inside the parenthesis. So what value we have provided inside the parenthesis, for that the square root going to be calculated, and it returns a result which is inserted in the value. So whatever result it is returning, that value is going to be assigned to value. Okay, the variable which is used at the left side of the equal to. So the expression, that is variable return in the parenthesis, is known as argument. So whatever variable or expression we are using inside this parenthesis is known as argument, that is known as actual argument, because this is function call. So inside the function call, a parenthesis inside whatever value we are using, that is known as actual argument or actual value. It is common to say that the function take arguments and returns the result. So we can say that function will take the argument, because a function means what? It is used to perform as a particular computation or calculation. Okay. So it takes the argument and it will return the result. This statement invokes the square root function. We have already seen many functions invoke statements such as type of, int of. Okay, these statements we have already seen. So now let us execute this in our Python interpreter. Okay. So first we need to import math, and then we need to um, execute this one. Okay, dot notation, we can write it, and just I'm copying and pasting. Okay, so uh, we need to print the value. Okay, so print, this is 3.7, so we need to use a parenthesis. 2.7 means just we can type a print after space and then value. This is 3.7 version, so that we need to include this insert this parenthesis symbol, then only the value will get printed. See, 5.0. So this is the answer what we have obtained from this math dot square root of 25. Okay, so in that case, after importing math only we can make use of this. So instead of importing math, no, simply if you are see, let us try again. Already it is imported, so it will come. We just instead of 25, 36 I will give. Okay, 36, because already here in the first statement itself it was imported. So let us again check it whether it is working or not. Okay, so print value. Yes, it is working. So once in the beginning, if you insert it, you can make use of this math module. In between any module, if you import, then we cannot make use of this value is equal to math dot square root. Again, you need to import. That let us check it in the upcoming examples. Okay. So next one is, so how we can import the module with the help of this from statement. So that is also we will check. It is used to get a specific function. See, using import functions, we have imported the module name and we have used this function. Same way, using from statement, how we can insert the module in our program, that let us check. Okay. So it is used to get a specific function. It is used to get a specific function in the code instead of the complete module file. So instead of using complete module, entire module, because you are going to use only one function from that module. So instead of using the complete module file, you can make use of only one function alone. You can extract from that module file. For that, the from statement is very, very helpful. So if we know beforehand which function we will be needing, then we may use from. Okay, so from statement is going to be used when we know the function name already. So if you know the function name already which we are going to use in our program, then instead of importing that module, we can use from statement, and using from statement we can write the following code. Okay, so for modules having large number of functions, it is recommended to use from instead of import. So whenever we have large number of functions, so it is mostly recommended to use this from only instead of the import statement. So its syntax is from module name, that is from math, import function name. So like that we need to write. So import square root. So square root, the name of the function already we have known, so that we can make use of this from math and import square root. Okay, and then square root of 25. Instead of square root of 25, we can see, we will write some other value, 49. Okay, 7 is 49. So we will print the value. 7.0 will be the answer. Okay, so like that we can make use of this from statement also, in order to make use of the specific function in our code. Okay, here we are importing square root function only instead of the complete math module. Now square root function will be directly referenced to. So the square root function is directly referenced to the math module. These two statements are equivalent to previous example. Okay, from module import star. So what it will do, import star. Okay, Star means it will import everything from the file. Okay, so here import square root alone we have imported from the math module. Here in this statement, from math, that is any module name we can give. Import star means from math whatever functions we are having, everything is going to be imported here. Okay, that is the use of this from module name import star. Okay, note, you normally put all the import statements at the beginning of the Python file, but technically they can be anywhere in the program. Okay, so even in the middle also you can import the module and you can make use of the functions which are available in that module. So let us see some of the examples which are available in the, some more functions which are available in the math module. So we have used square root module. In the same manner, in under math module, whatever functions which are there in the math module, let us see one by one. So first one is seal of x. Okay, seal of x, what it will be doing. So we need to import, we need to import the math module, and then math dot seal module name dot, if you want to use that function seal, you need to use module name and then dot, and then the function name inside the parenthesis you need to pass the value. Okay, so math dot seal of minus 45 plus 17, it is returning the smallest integer not less than x, not less than x. So minus 45 it is returned here. Then math dot seal of 100.12. So 101 is going to be returned here. Okay. Then in the same manner 101 here, here also it is returned. Next function we will see, that is floor of x. This and all you can try it in the interpreter. Okay, floor of x. Already we have used Control C, Control V. Okay, so this instead of x, no, 100.12. Already we imported this, see, math.floor we need to give. Okay, so math.floor, enter, enter. See, 100 is displayed here. Okay, so seal will return 100.12, seal will return 101, this floor function will return 100. Okay, so it returns the largest integer not greater than x. So like that you can execute, check all these functions in the Python interpreter. So f absolute of x. So floating point absolute of x. So it returns the absolute value of x, where x is a numeric value. So here it can be a numeric expression also, floor of x and seal of x. We can pass the expression also here. Expression means what? 45 plus 45 minus 35, like that. Also we can pass the expressions here. And here numeric value only we need to pass in the place of x. So math dot f absolute of minus 45 plus 0.17, it is returning 45.17, and here 100.12 it's returning the same value, and x exponent of x, it returns exponentials of x e power x, where x is a numeric expression. So math dot exp of this minus 45.17 is returning this value. Okay, so exponent value is going to be returned. Next one is log of x. It returns natural logarithm of x. That is for x is greater than 0. So like this you will get the answer when you are importing this module name, and if you use module name dot log of 100.12, you will get the answer like this. And then logarithm, it returns base 10 logarithm of x, where x is greater than 0. Okay, so this kind of answer you will get. Then power of x comma y, this is also one of the function which is available in the math module. So it returns the value of x power y. See, for example, 2 power 3, if you give 8 will be the answer. So 100 power 2 will give the 1000 as 10,000 as answer. See, let us check this in our Python shell. Okay, so 10,000 will be the answer. Okay, so like that. Square root also already we have tried square root only. Then cos of x also returns cosine of x in radians. Okay, it will return the value in radians. So see here, this here we are passing one function to one module is going to be passed to another one. Okay, so first we will get the result of this, and then math dot cosine of that value is going to be computed. Then sine of x. Okay, sine of x, it returns the sine of x in radians. The math dot sine of 3 returns this value. Okay, then tangent of x is in radians is going to be returned, and degrees, it converts the angle x. Okay, converts the angle x from radians to degrees. Okay, and then radians means degree to radian is going to be converted. Angle x is converted from degree to radian, here radian to degree. Okay, and then random module is also one of the module. Okay, that in that module whatever functions we have, that also we will see. So random is another module. After math module we are going to see this random module. So random dot random. Random is also one of the function which is available in the random module. So it returns a random float x, 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. So that value is going to be displayed here. So the values which are which can be displayed between 0 to 1. Okay, and then rand int of a comma b, it returns int x, okay, between a and b such that, okay, a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b. That means rand int of 1 comma 10, if you give 5 will be displayed. Okay, middle value is going to be printed here. Next one is uniform of a comma b. It returns a floating point number x such that a less than or equal to x less than b. So random dot uniform of 5 comma 10. So this value is going to be floating point number is going to be displayed here. Then rand range. Range means it returns a random item from the given range. Okay, stop value. First one start, and then stop, start, stop, and step. Okay, so random dot rand range of 100,000 comma 3. Okay, random item from the given range. So randomly any item is going to be returned here from the given range of values. Okay, some of the other modules which you can explore are string. String is also one module. Okay, so if you want to perform string operations, like a group of characters, if you want to concatenate two strings like Ranjit, Kumar. Okay, so Ranjit is one name, Kumar is another name. So if you want to combine these two strings, that is concatenate these two strings, you can go for this concatenation function which is available in the string module. Like that, many functions are available in the string module, and then time module, and then date module, and then date module. Like that, we have three modules here. Like that, we have three modules here, and then next one is next topic is built-in function. Built-in function are the functions that are built into Python. Built-in functions are the functions that are built into Python and can be accessed by a programmer. So this built-in functions are going to be accessed by the used by the programmer. It is already built into the Python. So these are always available, and for using them, we don't have to import any module. So this will be always available in the Python itself. So we no need to import any module in order to make use of these built-in functions. Let us see those functions now. Okay, so Python has a small set of built-in functions, as most of the functions have been partitioned to modules. So only small set of built-in functions we have in the Python. So this was done to keep core language clear, precise. Okay, so this was done to keep the core language, that is Python language, to be a precise one, accurate one. Okay, so next, some of the built-in functions, let us see. Absolute of x, it returns distance between x and 0, where x is the numeric expression. So absolute of minus 45 is returning 45. Absolute of 119 L is returning 119 alone. So this L indicates long integer. And then maximum of x comma y comma z comma etc. Some values, if you want, if you are giving in inside this parenthesis by separating comma. So x, y, z here are called as arguments. Okay, actual arguments. So whatever variables or values we are passing inside the parenthesis, that is known as actual arguments only. That is in function call. This is function call only, like the function call only, this is. So max of 80 comma 100 comma 1000. So what is the maximum value among these three? 1000 only. So like that we can get the result. Just we will execute this instead of importing any module. So just we didn't use math or something. So simply we are passing this function along with the parameters, that is arguments, actual values, 80 comma 100 comma 1000. So it is going to return the result to us. Okay, so we didn't use any modules. Okay, before the name of the function we didn't use any module, so that's why it is called as built-in functions. Already it is built into the Python. Okay, next is min of x comma y comma z. That means it returns the smallest of its arguments where x and y and z are numeric variable or expression. So minimum of 80, 100, 1000, it is returning 80. And then compare of CMP means compare. Okay. So compare of x comma y. If you are passing two values, okay, if the left side value is less than right side value, it will return -1. If the left side value is greater than right side, x is greater than y, just you consider this first value as x and second value as y. So when x is greater than y, it will return 1. When x and y both are equal, it will return 0. You can see here, if x and y equal, okay, 0 it will return. If x is less than y, it will return -1. If x is greater than y, it will return +1. So like that, it will returns the sign of the difference of two numbers. It returns the sign of the difference of two numbers. Okay, difference of two numbers, sign alone going to be returned. Let us check this one by one in our Python 3.7. Okay. Compare 80, 100. So it is not, CMP is not defined. CMP of 180, 100. So it is not defined. So like that it is coming. So let us check in 2.7 version. Okay. CMP of 80, 100. Just let us close and then open that 2.7. So CMP of 80, 100. So 80 is lesser than 100. So returning -1. Okay. So compare of 100, 80. 100, 80. So it will return +1. CMP of 80, 80. So both are equal. It is returning 0. So like this, you will get the answer when you are executing this in a command line, that is the Python interpreter. Next is div mod of x comma y. So it returns both quotient and the remainder by division through tuple. Okay, through tuple. Tuple means what? Inside the parentheses, the values are going to be displayed. That is why this is also one of the data type only. So tuple is the data type. So inside the parentheses, value is going to be displayed. So first value is representing quotient and second value is result of second value is representing the remainder. Okay. So it returns both quotient and the remainder by division through tuple. So with the help of tuple, the answer is going to be displayed when the x is divided by y. So here x is what? 14 and y is 5. So what will be the answer? 2 times only we can divide 14. 2 5s are 10. So 2 is the quotient. So remainder is what? 4. Okay. So 2 5s are 10. So what is the remainder? 14 minus 10? 4 only. So 4 will be the remainder. Okay. So let us execute this. So 2 comma 4 as a tuple, it is returned here. Now len of s returns the length, that is the number of items of an object. The argument may be sequence. Sequence means what? It may be string. Okay, like this sequence, or it may be a tuple or a list or mapping or dictionary. Okay, so here we have passed the list. Okay, so list length is going to be find out now. Okay, so now len of what? A we need to pass. Okay, length of A is now 3. Now next we are going to uh, find out this sequence length, that is string length. B is equal to hello. You need to type use single double quotes correctly. When you are copying and pasting, you need to check the double quotes and all displayed correctly in the screen or not, otherwise it will show error. Okay, so uh, len of B. So here what is the length of B? B is assigned with string with characters how many? 5 characters. So what will be the length of B? 5. Okay. So like this answer will get printed. Next function is built-in function is range function. That is range of start, stop, and then step. So here stop after this square bracket is given. No, is not required here. It is given. That is a typed mistakenly. Okay. So range of start, stop, and step. Okay. So this is the versatile function to create a list containing arithmetic progressions. It is most often used in for loops. So for loops always we will use this range functions. That is this is very much important. We will understand this function how it is working here. Okay, with the help of some examples we will understand now. So the arguments must be plain integers. Whatever arguments we are passing here, that should be plain integer only. We should not pass floating point line inside this. If the if the step argument is omitted, that is this argument, the third argument is omitted. See here, first and third both are omitted here. So only one is mentioned here, that is stop value. Okay, start and step value is omitted here. Here 1 comma, that is start is 11 1, and then stop is 11. Okay, step value we didn't give here. Okay, here all the three are given, that is start value, stop value, and then step value. So compulsorily which value we need to give? Stop value we need to give. Okay, so only one value if you are passing, that is going to be taken as a stop value only. Okay, the remaining two are automatically taken by the Python interpreter. So how the first value is taken as 0, default value taken by this range function as 0 only, and then the stop value or step value will be taken as 1 plus 1. Okay, so we are incrementing by 1 if you want to reach to 10. So it will start from 0. So 0 1 2 3 like that, one by one it is going to be incremented, and then it will print up to 9 only. Step value means step minus 1, so last value minus 1, like that it will get printed. Okay, if step must not be 0, step must not be 0, otherwise if you are assigning step value as 0, what will happen? Value error will be raised. Okay, so range of 0 start value, and then 10 is the stop value. 10 before value will be printed, and in a step value is what? 3. So 0 after 3, 0 plus 3, then 3 plus 3, then 6 plus 3, like that the answer will get printed. And here how this will get printed? 0 up to minus 9 it will go, minus of minus 10 of minus 1. So minus 10, and then there is a before that value minus 10 plus 1, so minus 9 will get printed. So step value will be minus 1. So 0 after minus 1, then minus 2, minus 3, like that it will get incremented. Then range of 0. Range of 0 means what? 0 is the stop value, so it will produce only empty list. Okay, empty list. And then range of 1 comma 0. 1 is the start value. Okay, and then this is the stop value. Okay, stop value is 0. So here also square bracket only is getting printed. So let us execute this in our Python interpreter. Range of 10. What answer it is displaying? Let us check it. Okay, range of 10. 0 1 2 3. It is printed as a list only. Okay, it is printed as a list. Create a list, but still functions to create a list containing arithmetic progressions. See, range of 1 comma 11. It is also printing 1 to 10. Then range of 0 35, that is up to 25 it will get printed, and 5 5 5s are added after 0. And then range of 0 10 3. 3 is step value, so 0 after start value is 0, step value is 3, and then stop value is 10. So 10 before, 9 up to 9 it will get printed. Okay, next is 0 minus 10 minus 1. Let us check this. Okay, and then range of 0, because this is very much important. This without understanding the range functions work, we cannot use in the for loop. Okay, for loop we will use the next chapter we will study looping statements only. So in that range function we will use, in that case we will get a trouble. Okay, so that's why I explained all these examples here. Next is round of x comma n. So it returns float x rounded to n digits from the decimal point. So from the decimal point, n digits it is going to be rounded off. That is 2 digits. Here 3 digits. Okay. So 3 digits here after dot decimal point after only three values are also 0 only. So 0 only is getting printed. And here 80.0. Okay. So we didn't give anything. So if n is not provided, then x is rounded to 0 decimal digits. So 0 only automatically it is taken when n is not provided. The second value is not provided means. Apart from these functions, okay, apart from these built-in functions, we have already seen the use of the following functions, that is bool, character, float, int. This is known as what? Type conversion functions. Okay, long, string, type, id, tuple, all these are type conversions. This id is used to refer to the memory address of identifier, okay, any variable. And then next topic is composition. Composition is an art of combining simple functions to build more complicated ones. That is, one function is going to be used as a value to the other function. Okay, the result of one function is used as the input to the other function. Let us see the example of this composition. Okay, it is the art of combining simple functions to build some more complicated ones, more complicated functions. That is, result of one function is used as the input to the another one. Suppose we have two functions, that is function 1 and function 2, such that a is equal to function 2 of x and b is equal to function 1 of a. That means this a entirely, that is function 2 of x entirely, is going to be passed here. When you are combining these two functions, then call to the functions, two functions can be combined as, how it is going to be combined? Function 1 of a, instead of a, this function 2 of x is going to be replaced here in the place of a. So what will happen? So first it will evaluate the first function. First it will call the first function and it will get the result of this function. This result is going to be used as input to the another function, that is f, function 1. Okay. So similarly, we can have this statement composed of more than two functions, in that the result of one function is passed as argument to the next one. Okay. And the result of last one is the final result. The result of last function only will be the final result. So example for composition, math.exponent of math.log of a plus 1. That is, first we need to find out the math of log of a plus 1. After that only, this value is going to be used for finding the exponent. In the same manner, degrees is equal to 270 we have assigned. So math.sine of degrees by 360.0 into 2 into math.pi. So math.pi is going to be obtained, and then this after obtaining this, the entire thing is going to be found out. Okay, and then after finding this value, the sign of that value is going to be obtained here. Okay, so like that we can make use of the simple functions in order to combine into a more complicated one. So we have combined the simple functions to make a more complicated functions. Okay, so composition is used to package the code into a modules which may be used in a many different unrelated places and situations. Also, it is easy to maintain the code. Note, Python also allows us to take the elements of program and compose them. So it is allowing us to take the elements of the program also, and we can compose them and we can combine them. Okay. And next one is last topic in this function is user defined functions. Under user defined functions, we are going to have a lot of topics. So let us see in the next video. So with this, we will wind up this session. Thank you.